All right, thank you so much. Our second winner of the Grand Show of the Midland Planning Department was nominated by Sharon Morton. So I don't think Sharon's here today. Grant, bright and thoughtful, has a high standard and vision for the Midland community. He strives for excellence in volunteer organizations in which he is involved and is plugged into the pulse of the community and mindful of all socioeconomic groups. Let's share a video now about Grant. It was prepared by our committee.
Well, I met Grant in 2013 when he came to Midland. He began working for the city. I'm part of the Housing Commission, so he was a staff member assigned to that. And I've got to say, from the moment I first met him, I went, wow, this is an incredibly bright, thoughtful individual. And he continues to do great things for our community.
Grant's involved in a lot of community work, actually. In his role as a community development planner, he was involved with some of the continuum care organizations through our community development block grant program. Had a lot of outreach and in contact with those organizations through that particular role. He became, at that point in time, heavily involved in the MIPROS organization through the Chamber of Commerce.
Grant is very involved in MIPROS. He's currently the chair of the steering committee, and he has a great passion for young professionals and getting people involved.
And then when Grant came on board, he made tons of changes. It's now more of a leadership group, but it's also, our whole plan is to get MIPROS involved in the community. We want them to stay here, we want them to get involved with things, and that's all because of Grant. He's really changed it around. We're doing different things. One thing that Grant did come up with is our Learn with Leaders event, where it's a luncheon that you can sit down and talk with community leaders. We've met with Bill Schuette, the mayor, Brad Kay, Renee Decro from Live Oak, and it's just a way for young professionals to feel more connected to the community because they're sitting there in the same room talking to these people and they can ask questions, and it's really cool.
Of course, one of the things on Spirit of Rotary is you're looking for someone that lives the four-way test. You know, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And when I think about that, Grant really exemplifies that four-way test. You know, he wants it to be fair, that he wants to be, you know, just good to all concerned. He's kind. So Grant has just a variety of personal qualities. He's also very motivated, very driven. So he is, I think he's always thinking, you know, he's kind of like a step ahead. What's next? And that's part of what makes him very special, is just him always striving for excellence in the work that he does.
Sure. I think if you look at his planning initiatives and some of the work that we do, Grant does a really great job of being mindful of all socioeconomic and demographic profiles of the community. So he's not only looking at what benefits one group or class, if you will, but the community as a whole and all of the members of it.
Well, planners by definition are fairly aspirational in their view of the world. You know, that's why they get into the profession, and they really want to make things better for everybody. And part of this recognition from the Rotary Club pertains to how you make the community a better place for other people. And so Grant is somebody that, professionally speaking, at least with regard to what he's trying to accomplish, has pretty high standards or pretty high goals. You know, he's really striving to produce the kind of place that we all want to live in, that not only are we proud of, but we want to brag about. You know, he's got a vision in his mind of what that looks like and how to achieve it, and he does a nice job of marshaling the resources necessary to get people behind it.
I mean, he always doodled and drew city plans and wanted to rearrange blocks, city blocks, and those kind of things from little on. But I just think as he grew up, realizing he can make an impact and make some changes. I mean, some changes will be slow, some changes may never happen, but also not just him changing things, but he sees people changing him. Because I think maybe he had a passion for something, but he starts hearing other people's inputs and realizes, hey, their ideas are better.
The great thing about Grant is he's always super positive. He always has really innovative ideas and cool ideas that will take whatever he's working on to the next level.
Well, for somebody of his age, he's viewed as very credible. And that's not always easy. You know, he operates in an environment that can be fraught with very particular interests that are opposed to one another, and to come to the table, not just to be able to convene the parties, but to be able to make progress with people with disparate interests requires a level of maturity that extends well beyond his age.
Grant is just seemingly really plugged in to the real pulse of what's going on in the community, and I think his being able to show up and be authentic and take in all of that feedback is a valuable asset in his role and for our community.
Grant gets his energy from people. He loves being around people. He gets energy from traveling, planning. He loves seeing new businesses open in the community. He loves Midland. We're very lucky to have him here. He has a lot of passion for this community.
I would say that problem solving gives Grant energy, bringing people together to solve a problem or to work together to create some new and exciting initiative for our community. So definitely people, but kind of bringing people together, kind of the convener role.
And I think I think he has a genuine compassion, or just enjoys doing what he's doing, so that in its way energizes him to get up in the morning and just get going, because he's got things that he wants to do to make the community better for everybody, not just for him, but for everybody.
I imagine each day he leaps out of bed and puts on his cape, you know, after his
Grant has a lot of possibilities and a lot of advantages in terms of where he's at right now, but also a future that's pretty bright in my belief.
The future for Grant, I mean, the sky's the limit. I really think he can do whatever he wants to do. He could run for president. I mean, don't put that in there.
I always joke with him that he's going to be the president of the United States one day, which I don't even know if he has a passion for that or not, but I think that big things are going to happen for him.
Well, I think the ceiling is very high. You know, part of the reason that we were very excited to add him to the staff with the city is that his potential is almost boundless.
I think his future is good. I see him being a city manager somewhere someday. Don't know where that's going to be, but yeah, I see him moving into that capacity someday.
Obviously, Grant's future is bright here in our community, and we're so lucky to have him here in Midland. If I had to describe it in short order, I would say respectable leadership.
Goodness, I think Grant has an incredible future in front of him, and I hope that that future can continue to be Midland.
Grant, it's certainly been my pleasure to work with you. I've had the opportunity to work directly one-on-one, and now I supervise you in a little bit of a different role, and you're much more independent. It's been a pleasure watching you grow. It's been a pleasure seeing you not only take on the roles of the job that you have with the City of Midland, but also the engagement that you've made with our community. I believe you've got a lot to offer. You are showing that to our community, and it's great that the community is recognizing you in this way. Congratulations on this award.
Congratulations, Grant. You're well deserving of this award.
Well, congratulations, Grant. This is an honor that you're very deserving of, and I can't think of a better person to be recognized in this way.
Congratulations, Grant. You deserve this more than anyone I know. Thank you for all you've done.
Congratulations, Grant. We're proud of your accomplishments.
Yay, Grant! Way to go! So proud of you, bud.
Congratulations, Grant. We're so fortunate to have you here in our community. You're so deserving of this award. Congrats.
I want to say congratulations, Grant. I'm so excited to have been able to nominate you for this award and that you were chosen for this. And I really can't think of anyone more deserving. So thanks for all that you give to our community, and congratulations.
Wonderful. So again, you'll find more about Grant in your program. Grant, would you please come forward and receive our recognition and share about your life of service? A charitable contribution is being made in Grant's name for $500 to the Arc of Midland.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Good. So this is a little difficult. I was joking, I do a lot of zoning variance presentations, but not necessarily talking about myself. So I got a few deep breaths, but no, that video was pretty cool. I would say by far it's been a team effort for where I'm at today. I feel very privileged, and actually just what my parents have given me ever since I was born has put me in a place to be successful and to do the things that I enjoy. But that's definitely been aided by my boss Brad and good friend and mentor, as well as John Lynch. And having Dave and Carol here too is incredible. I want to thank Sharon Mortensen for even nominating me for this. When she told me about it, I felt just really humbled to be able to be awarded something like this, or to be even thought of. Quite frankly, I think there's lots of other people in the community that have done some remarkable things, and I'm kind of just getting started. So I'm excited to work here and to be part of this community, and even in the five short years, it's been great to do that. Of course, my parents, Marlene and Mike, being here is awesome to have you and sharing in this experience. I was asked just to kind of talk a little bit about my service orientation and the people that have influenced that along the way. I do want to spend a little bit of time, I guess, on how kind of that shapes my worldview as well. But as you read in the program, I started out in Colorado Springs, and we lived there a very short amount of time before we moved to a very small town in Wyoming, north central Wyoming, Worland, and it's about 5,000 people. Closest Walmart's like an hour and a half. And so you've got a very different type of community that's there, that's very oriented in taking care of one another. Growing up, my parents very much were involved in demonstrating service at different activities, whether that was the Fall Fun Fest at our elementary school, having my dad show up with a cotton candy machine from his office, working at the sugar factory and making cotton candy, and my mom running around making sure the volunteers were set up and leading initiatives like that. We were involved in church that had a vacation Bible school and other types of activities, and lots of people that would fill the pews every Sunday that really wanted to give back in a lot of ways. And when you are part of a community like that, it's easy to learn the types of things that make life successful and be able to do things that benefit everyone. We moved to Michigan when I was 10, and we've lived in Freeland. I lived there till I graduated high school in 2008, but my sister, Kristen, now lives over in Holland. She was very involved in National Honor Society, and I can remember just growing up a couple years behind her, thinking that's something I wanted to get involved in and be able to participate in a group that allows for volunteerism, but also high standards academically and other types of interest. And so she very much laid a foundation. She was actually kind of the overachiever, we would joke, in high school, because I was not. But no, it's been very great to I feel very close to her as a friend, and more than just a sister. I think we're close friends and good confidants in one another. But part of moving here and kind of moving from a small town into a metro area, it's very easy to have a lot of conveniences that are very close. And I think as part of that, it's easy to be consumption-minded as opposed to giving-back-minded. And that's a very different type of lifestyle than when you live in a small town in a basin that has only 10,000 people in a short drive. And so I think that's always been something in my mind that I've wanted to guard against, is not necessarily buy into this idea of always wanting to overly consume, but really think about how you can give back and how you can do it intentionally to be able to impact those around you. And so part of that translated when I went to Montana State, spent 4 years in Bozeman, Montana. If anyone hasn't been out there, it's gorgeous. So if you're looking for a trip out to Yellowstone, definitely stop through Bozeman. But alternative spring break was something I did through InterVarsity and Christian Fellowship, and that was hugely important to kind of understand. We spent a week in Denver, and we worked with a lot of different individuals that have a completely different lifestyle. There's those out there that don't have the things that I've been blessed with, and I think when you serve and you can be a participant with them, even for a short week, you learn so much about what you really do have, and if you can give back in order to make their lives better in a way, you really can change a life, and your own life can get changed, and you can have a good perspective on what you want and what you desire out of your life and out of society. One of the things I kind of wanted to talk about was really just this idea of vision. It was kind of talked about in the video, but I do spend a lot of time envisioning the future. I guess that's maybe my planner gene. And so I really think what drives me on a daily basis is to kind of think about what do we want in society? What do we want that's around us? And how do we go about on a daily basis being able to create that? We're the product of our creation, and there's a lot of variables that are at play in our world right now, but we do have the impact and the ability to impact our community. And when I look around the room and I see a lot of the faces and some of the things that people are doing, I really feel like I'm part of a huge ecosystem of people that really want to create something good in Midland. And we're going through a ton of change right now as a community, but I think it's exciting to see so many people that are very well-intended and very driven and really in the interest of the community working together. So I feel very fortunate to be a part of that and to be able to do that on a daily basis with the work I do at the city. But in all honesty, I think really the root of kind of how I live a life is really just the application of Christ and what he's done for me and for everyone. I think the act of service that he provided on the cross is something that I think is really what drives me on a daily basis. The Lion of Judah, but also the Lamb that was slain, and how we can freely receive that grace and not have to work. There's a lot of times I think I spend my time checking boxes just because I want to do the things that I feel like I need to do. And at the end of the day, that won't be enough. We'll never be able to do enough good works, but it's fantastic to know that there's a Savior that really doesn't care at the end of the day. He wants you to pursue truth and pursue honesty and pursue goodness, but the works really don't matter. So anyhow, I really want to thank everyone for being here and for my parents again to be here. And I really appreciate being honored in this way. And looking around the room, there's a huge team, and I feel very, very fortunate to be a part of that. And so thank you so much.
Well, two extraordinary winners this year. The committee always does a fabulous job, but really quite wonderful to see these young people in our community. And we hope to see you both, Hillary and Grant, at a future Rotary meeting. You're welcome anytime. We'll give you free lunch. Come check it out. We would love to see you more involved in our group. I wanted to thank some people who were involved in the preparation of today. First of all, thank you, Ron, for doing the filming in the back. To Lois McJane for the music at the beginning, and to the Country Club. Let's give a round of applause to the Country Club for all their hard work. But also the Spirit of Rotary Committee. You can tell by the preparation of the video and the setup today and the programs, et cetera, this takes a huge amount of preparation. So let's thank, please, Stephanie Liebfritz, the chair of the committee, Kelly Boss, Joe Doherty, Corey Ferris, Daryl Griggs, Bonnie McManus, Sarah Schreiber, Pam Singer, and Kathy Swartwout. Please, another round of applause for them. And I'd also like to recognize Angela Hine, who is the founder of the Spirit of Rotary Award. One of the things that the presidents do when they come in is they sometimes do special events, and this is certainly one of them. All right, so thank you very much. The families, please stay around afterwards. We'll take some pictures, and I'm turning it back over to our president, John Haig.
Thank you, Tawny. Let's give Tawny a hand, too. Very good. Congratulations, Hillary, Grant. Awesome. You guys are very well deserving, and I think we should give a round for the kids, too, for behaving throughout this thing. Yeah. Knocked them right out. Very good. Well, thank you so much, and hope you all enjoyed today's program. Look forward to seeing you again next Thursday. And so, let us recite the four-way test as we do. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a great day.